weeks in Parliament were filled with broken Liberal promises. Broken promises on spending, broken promises on the tax cut, broken promises on defense, broken promises on elbows up with the United States. The Prime Minister promised $800 in savings, a savings bonanza. Instead, the average Canadian only gets $90 this year. So did the Prime Minister mislead Canadians during the election? Is he misleading them now, or both?
The Honourable Government House Leader.
Mr. Speaker, tax cut for 22 million Canadians by July 1st. Check. DST off of homes for first-time home buyers. Check. Government fully funded. The supply bills are passed off to the Senate. Check. Defense spending, 2% of GDP. Check. And today, Mr. Speaker, and I invite the honourable member to join us, the bill to build Canada strong, the bill to build jobs in this country, create opportunity right across this land. Check, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member for Calgary Heritage.
Listen, if their math are like their promises, we're in serious trouble. They promised to put more money in Canadians' pockets. It isn't $800 a year. It's $7 a month. Broken. Promised to rein in government spending. $26 billion in consultants. $1,400 in taxes for every Canadian household. Broken. He's promised to rein in inflation. Beef's up 34%. Baby formula up 9%. Apples up 18%. Broken. So was the Prime Minister misleading us in the campaign? Is he misleading us now, or both?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, at a time when Canadians are struggling, when we're fighting a trade war with one of our greatest traditionally allies, we have offered 22 million Canadians an income tax cut that's going to put more money in their pockets. What do the Conservatives do? Well, we're glad for once that they actually voted for that tax cut, which is fantastic. We know that they have a history of complaining in this House about affordability and then voting against every single measure that we put forward. At least finally they came to their senses and helped Canadians for once.
The Prime Minister's first 4 weeks have been filled with broken promises on spending, consultants, defence spending, and relations with the U.S. Now the Parliamentary Budget Officer confirms that another broken promise, this time on tax cuts. He advises us that the average Canadian will save only $7.50 a month, and low-income seniors will save even less, under $5 a month, under the Liberal proposals. Perhaps it isn't a surprise the Prime Minister won't table a budget this spring, because so much of what he's saying now is so different from what he said during the election. So I'm curious. Did the Prime Minister deliberately mislead Canadians during the election? Is he misleading them now, or is it both?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Finance.
Mr. Speaker, our government received a strong mandate from the Canadian people to build Canada strong. What have we done in just 4 weeks? We've cut taxes for 22 million Canadians. We've helped secure our borders. We're breaking down internal trade barriers. We're fast-tracking major nation-building projects, and we've strengthened our ability to defend ourselves. That, to me, is strong leadership for a strong and independent Canada. While Conservatives bash, we will build. We'll continue to build with Canadians all across this great country. That's how you make the best country in the world even better.
Honourable Member for Lanark Frontenac.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is a broken record of broken promises, and the list keeps on growing. Broken promises on spending, and we still don't have a budget plan. Broken promises on consultants and also on consulting with Canadians. Broken promises to have his elbows up with the Americans, but instead what the Prime Minister has lifted is his middle finger to Canadians on affordability, inflation, and Liberal policies. Canadians need real change from the Prime Minister, not pocket change in tax cuts, not broken promises, not false hopes. Will the Prime Minister table a real budget plan this spring, or will he not?
Government House.
Mr. Speaker, that member is a member of long-standing, and I don't even think he believes the stuff that he was handed to me.
I agree completely.
The fact is that this is a transformational Prime Minister in a new government who is will be presenting a budget this fall, but has already delivered a spending program that was passed by this House, has already delivered a tax cut for 22 million Canadians that will save families up to $840 a year, and has and taken off the GST on homes for first-time buyers, Mr. Speaker. That's progress.
The honourable member for Dufferin-Caledon.
What the member just said is just completely misleading to the Canadian public. The Parliamentary Budget Officer has said this big tax cut is actually going to deliver $15 a month. That's not transformational. That's not going to build anything. The average Canadian can buy a couple of coffees at Starbucks for $15 a month. So it's all talk, no action, realistically, from this government. The Prime Minister has broken 4 promises in 4 weeks of being the Prime Minister. That's not leadership. That's not transformational. That's misleading the Canadian public. So is misleading the Canadian public the new mantra for this, quote, new government?
The Honourable Secretary of State for the Canada Revenue Agency and Financial Institutions.
Mr. Speaker, we are building the strongest economy in the G7. I'm not sure where the member opposite has been. We are cutting taxes for 22 million Canadians. We are permanently cutting the consumer carbon tax. We are cutting taxes for first-time homebuyers. Mr. Speaker, the Conservatives, sadly, are still stuck in the past. It's time to get on board or get out of the way. Thank you.
That's right.
The Honourable Member for Elmwood-Transcona.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister's first 4 weeks in Parliament were filled with broken promises, broken promise on spending, broken promise on tax cut, broken promise on consultants, broken promise on defence, broken promise on elbows up with the U.S. The Parliamentary Budget Officer found the Liberals' tax cut will only save Canadians $90 this year and $190 next year. That is $15 per month, or about 4 cans of tuna. Did the Prime Minister mislead Canadians during this election? Is he misleading them now, or both?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Mr. Speaker, last week the Prime Minister announced a $9.3 billion investment in Canada's defence, which means we will achieve NATO's 2% target this fiscal year. This is not only an investment in our armed forces, but also an investment in good-paying jobs, in Canadian innovation, and in economic growth. Our generational investment in strengthening Canada's role as a strong, reliable international trading partner while rebuilding and rearming our forces here at home. It's unfortunate the Conservatives voted against it.
The Honourable Member for Riding Mountain.
Mr. Speaker, according to recent reports, hundreds of American doctors wanting to work in our hospitals are, in their words, quote, stuck in bureaucratic hell. Instead of serving Canadians, American doctors are blocked from working because they're trapped in licensing logjam. Nearly 7 million Canadians don't have a family doctor, yet government gatekeepers are blocking qualified doctors from working in Canada. When will the Liberal Health Minister introduce our Conservative Blue Seal program to recognize the credentials of international doctors so Canadians can get the care they need?
Exactly. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of Immigration.
Mr. Speaker, our colleague evidently read the article that was on the front pages of National Newswatch yesterday, but he didn't read it closely. Because what he would have seen if he did is that that issue is squarely in the provincial jurisdiction. We know that there are American doctors that are trying to come to Canada, leaving the United States. Of course, our healthcare system is in need of more doctors, but the issue is tangled in the bureaucracy in British Columbia. And so if he wants to bring matters to the House of Commons, that's very fine. It's a very good issue to raise, but the issue is misplaced. It's an issue of provincial jurisdiction.
La députée de Bellechasse-les-Sept-Chemins-Lévis.
The member for Bellechasse-les-Sept-Chemins-Lévis. Mr. Speaker, the financial watchdog, an officer of the House, has confirmed another broken promise by the Liberals, their so-called tax cut. Contrary to the $850 promised by the Prime Minister, the average Canadian will only save $90 this year, and seniors will get a paltry $4 a month. Did the Prime Minister lie during the election campaign? Is he lying now, or both? Before recognizing the government House Leader, that word used in the House causes disorder. So I would ask the member to withdraw that term. Yes, of course, Mr. Speaker. I meant to say misled. I would replace it with misled. The Honourable Government House Leader. Mr. Speaker, the facts are very straightforward, very simple. For all those who pay income tax, i.e. 22 million Canadians, there will be a tax cut from 15 to 14% on the tax rate. That will save $840 maximum for Canadian families. For those who pay income tax, they can save up to $840. Promise made, promise kept. The honourable member for Bellechasse. Well, it's as if they're calling the PBO a liar. But anyway, the Prime Minister's first 4 weeks in Parliament have been full of broken promises on spending, taxes, consultants, defence, and even on relations with the U.S. Meanwhile, Canadians are paying 14% more for rice, 18% more for apples, and even 34% more for beef. Will the Prime Minister finally table a budget that truly cuts taxes and reverses his inflationary policies? The Government House Leader. I repeat, Mr. Speaker, 22 million, i.e. everyone who pays income tax will, as of July 1st, get a tax cut on their paychecks, on their pay stubs. It's a really good Canada Day gift. But the member opposite has opposed childcare places, dental care. She should focus on affordability and support us. Mr. Speaker, this is the last day in the House before Parliament shuts down for the summer, and the record is terrible. 4 weeks of broken promises by the Liberal government on spending, on tax cuts, on consultants, on national defense, and on our U.S. relations. The PBO says that the tax cuts are not going to be $800, but only $90. Why are the Liberals misleading Canadians? The Minister of Industry. Mr. Speaker, one thing's clear. The government is acting and acting swiftly. In less than 100 days, we've been able to do more than many previous governments. A tax cut for 22 million Canadians, the exemption on the GST for first-time home buyers, and of course, which the opposition, if they support us, a bill that is fundamental to support our workers, support our industries because of the trade war. And I hope that the opposition will be there to support it. The honourable member for Montmorency Charlevoix. Mr. Speaker, with my little experience in the House, what I do see is that the government likes to play smoke and mirrors. They promised to save $800 for Canadian families, but that was a broken promise because it's up to $800, not $800. It's all a matter of interpretation, apparently. But it would be good to have a budget. Will the Prime Minister finally take his responsibility seriously and table a budget? The Honourable Minister of Industry. Mr. Speaker, one thing is clear. Canadians know that we are there for them during this trade war, for our steel and aluminum workers, for our auto workers, for Canadians all across the country, because we know we have a role to play. And 22 million Canadians will benefit from a tax cut, and we will also be there to see to it that our country is built at a time when it's under attack.